What's going on? Welcome to the Bottom Line Podcast, your sports and entertainment destination. I'm Jimmy Finizzi. I hope you're doing well. You already know what to do. Hit us up on all social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, at BottomLineWMCX. Use hashtag BottomLine, and please make sure that you subscribe on YouTube and on all audio platforms, and include Jimmy when searching for this podcast. All right, so apologies for no episode on Monday, on Sports Talk Mondays. It was just a really hectic schedule, so I'll make it up for it today, as I can't believe I'm even talking about this today, because I understand that we never give the NBA as much love as we should on this show, and we do feel bad about that. And we know the NBA finals are going on right now. At the time of this recording, the Celtics and the Warriors are tied at 1 game apiece. Game 3 is Wednesday night, and we know that these have been a very interesting finals so far. And the fact that we have to talk about this, I mean, really, I could be breaking down these finals right now, but instead, look, obviously, this is going to be a big story regardless, but to me, the finals are bigger. That's just my personal opinion, but today, unfortunately, I have to talk about this gentleman right here, Donovan freaking Mitchell. And why are we talking about him today? Because there have been a bunch of connections to him possibly wanting out of the Utah Jazz and going to the New York Knicks. Now, before I get into my thoughts on whether that's going to happen or not, let me explain why this is a possibility. And one of the factors behind Donovan Mitchell wanting to leave Utah is Quinn Snyder, former head coach of the Utah Jazz now, deciding to step away. And I have this article here, courtesy of Woj, Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, and I want to read it to you. Amid the reverberations of Quinn Snyder's departure after 8 seasons as the Utah Jazz coach, All-Star guard Donovan Mitchell is described as unsettled, unnerved, and wondering what it means for the franchise's future, sources told ESPN on Sunday. Mitchell considered Snyder a significant part of his reasoning for committing to a 5-year max contract extension in 2020, and Snyder's decision to step away on Sunday has left Mitchell, quote, surprised and disappointed, sources told ESPN. Mitchell remains fond of Snyder and accepts his reasons for stepping down, but Mitchell is spending the immediate aftermath of Snyder's decision trying to process what the coach's loss means in the larger scope for the organization and himself. Utah is expected to commence a coaching search effective immediately. Snyder had a .623 winning percentage over the past 6 seasons, which is 3rd best in the NBA according to ESPN stats and info. He was .372 and .246, which is a .585 winning percentage, in 8 seasons with Utah. Mitchell, a 2-time All-Star, reached the playoffs in each of his 5 seasons and became the first guard since Allen Iverson to average 20 points in each of his 5 campaigns. Snyder, the second winningest coach in franchise history behind Jerry Sloan, had forged a strong relationship with Mitchell and co-star Rudy Gobert. The Jazz reached the Western Conference semifinals twice in the past 5 years, but were eliminated in the first round this past season. The Jazz have planned to be aggressive in improving the team in the trade market this summer. Mitchell currently has 4 years and $135 million left on his contract, including a player option in his final season. Now, obviously, this is a big factor here. Donovan Mitchell, look, he's only 25 years old, so he's still very, very young. He's still an absolute stud of a player. If you look at the season that he had, this past season, he averaged 25.9 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, and 5.3 assists in 67 games played. That's pretty damn good for Donovan Mitchell, and he's going to be around for a long, long time. So now that Quinn Snyder is out the door, obviously it leaves a lot of questions, as mentioned in the article. What happens to Donovan Mitchell, blah, 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 all that stuff. Who's going to be the next Utah coach? And honestly, I have no idea who they're going to talk to, but we'll see. But as it pertains to Donovan Mitchell, now that Quinn Snyder's out, a lot more questions are going to be raised about whether or not he will go to the New York Knicks and possibly request a trade there. And Knicks fans, I want to put this to bed. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's a pipe dream that Donovan Mitchell is going to come to New York. I get it. He's from New York, so there's obviously another connection there. But honestly, if you want to trade for Donovan Mitchell, who are you giving up? RJ Barrett? I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. Maybe give up Julius Randle? Maybe. I would probably do that. But you're also going to have to give up RJ Barrett. And if I'm the Knicks, why would I want to give him up after the season he just had for that team? As a matter of fact, let me pull up some numbers here for RJ Barrett just so you can get an idea of what kind of season that he had. RJ Barrett, in 70 games played this season, averaged 20 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Pretty good season for RJ Barrett, if you ask me. Pretty damn good. He was an all-star for a reason. He was the lone bright spot on the New York Knicks. And you know what? Let's face it. The New York Knicks are a national disaster. And quite frankly, if you ask me, they are not worthy to have Donovan Mitchell on that team. Now, would it make them playoff contenders? Absolutely 100% yes. Without question, it would. He's automatically better than half the Knicks roster, outside of RJ Barrett, obviously. And maybe Julius Randle if he gets his act together, and if he actually stays put with the Knicks. Well, we'll see what happens there. But even still, Donovan Mitchell to the New York Knicks is just a pipe dream, and it's not happening. Because you have no other assets to trade. Who else are you going to trade? Mitchell Robinson? Really? I mean, who are you giving up? Outside of RJ Barrett, Knicks fans, let me know down in the comments on YouTube and on social media at BottomLineWMCX if you really want Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks. Outside of RJ Barrett, who are you giving up? Nobody. That is the only way that the Knicks are getting Donovan Mitchell. And again, they are not giving up on this young kid. RJ Barrett's got a bright future in this league, especially with this franchise, who they probably want to build around. I would build around RJ Barrett. I absolutely would. Now, would it be nice to have Donovan Mitchell? Yeah, of course it would. It'd be nice to have him in a bigger market like New York, but not happening. Unless a Knicks fan out there can provide me a reasonable trade scenario for Donovan Mitchell, it's not happening. I'm sorry, it's just not. Well, that's all I gotta say about this. I know it was a bit of a short episode, but hey, I'm no basketball savant. I just wanted to break this down to the best of my ability, but maybe you basketball fans can break it down better than me. So let me know down in the comments below on YouTube and on social media at BottomLineWMCX. Knicks fans, do you want Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks? And if you do, who are you giving up? And if not, explain your reasoning. I'm Jimmy Finizzi. This is the Bottom Line Podcast. See you in the next episode. Peace and take care.